finished the previous live stream with an amazing rider. She's a teacher. We had a good half hour together as we were traversing along. And now I'm just pulling up to my next ride here. And this one will be another half hour or so, which will be such fun. All right. The perks of having a vehicle that has all-wheel drive is I can drive into all these snowbanks, and it's amazing. So I'll turn the light on for me here. Hey man, how are you?
Hi, good, how are you?
Welcome, Lawrence. Nice to meet you, brother.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you, thank you.
Thanks for waiting for me.
Yeah, of course.
Lawrence, before we get too far, I just want to give you a quick heads up.
Yeah.
In my Uber, I do something a little unusual. I live stream in my Uber, and
Oh,
so
awesome.
I just wanted you to be aware so you don't say things that you're like, oh, I wish I hadn't said that online or
Okay,
whatever.
cool.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad you're keen on it as well too.
Yeah, that's super awesome.
Thank you.
Is it on Instagram? What is this?
It's on YouTube.
On YouTube?
On YouTube. So I'm transferring platforms. My main sort of investment has been on TikTok, but now I'm transferring to YouTube and trying to make that the main one. And
Cool.
so I'm still using TikTok and Instagram, of course, but sort of as like the supports to the YouTube channel.
Nice.
And that's the plan there.
What's your YouTube channel?
Here, let me give you my card, brother. And then you'll be able to like get it has all that information on it.
Yeah, I saw your bio on
Did
on
you?
Uber, yeah.
What did you learn about me?
That you wanted to do some entrepreneurship. And,
Yeah.
spend
You
time
know,
with the kids,
I
and-
wrote that like 5 years ago. And it's still kind of on point. That's me, my brother. Yeah, it's just my name. Thank you. So, yeah, that was 5 years ago. I better go and refresh it, but it's still a similar theme. You know, driving with Uber, you get this taste of what it's like to work for yourself and be on your own schedule and navigate your own finances and taxes and all the things.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to it, but I don't know, it's kind of fun.
It is. I do DoorDash on the side as well.
Okay, so you know what it's all about.
Yeah, when it's late at night, I'm just out and about.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
always nice to make some money. So it's fun.
Absolutely, yeah. And you know, with the food delivery option, because I do DoorDash, I didn't like DoorDash or Skip the Dishes as much as I liked Uber Eats. And I liked Uber Eats because, I don't know, it just seemed like it was a lot busier, and you didn't have to sign up for shifts. It's like, oh, and you weren't like geographically bound. It's like, oh, that
I
just
was
drove me
looking
nuts.
at that. They need a driver abstract.
Oh, I
right?
see. Okay, for
That's the-
Uber Eats.
Yeah, DoorDash
Gotcha.
didn't need that, so I didn't want to go pay for one of those.
And get
That's
too
the thing.
invested. I wonder if it's because they're thinking in terms of like if you're actually not only going to do Uber Eats, but maybe you start driving for Uber, which is a lot more invested. That's a lot of work to get invested in that one, but and for good reason. I mean, like they really cover the bases, and it's very investive. But if you get through it all, it works out pretty well. So anyway, I loved driving for Uber Eats instead, because then that way I can go on and off the clock anytime. I didn't have to sign up for a shift.
Yeah.
And I didn't like being bound into like geographic areas where you're like only here, you know?
Yeah.
Because I found that so slow and like, but with Uber Eats, I was all over the city and I loved it. Oh, it was
Yeah.
so good.
I wish I could, but I just didn't want to.
I get it. Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. That totally makes sense. So that's your side gig. What's your main gig?
I work as a sports coach.
I knew it. I was gonna
Yeah.
guess that.
I'm actually wearing my work hat.
I'm kidding. I would never have guessed that.
Yeah, it's called sport ball. It's for kids.
Okay.
Yeah, from like really baby, like 16 months,
Yeah.
up to like 12, 14.
And you coach them in sports?
Yeah.
Like just general sports?
Yeah, so we do
Amazing.
multi-sport.
Okay.
It's not a competitive program. It's just for like
Fun.
physical literacy and social interaction, stuff like that.
I've never heard of this before.
Sport ball, yeah.
How did you get into it?
Well, I had a friend who worked there,
Okay.
and then he referred a couple
You.
of us. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's-
And I imagine you're already into sports and hence why a good match there.
Oh, honestly, not
Yeah.
really. Before
Okay.
this,
Yeah.
I never did sports in high school. Never did it in junior
Wow.
high. Yeah, I never did.
So this got you into it.
Yeah, it was actually after getting this job that it got me more into playing sports. Yeah,
Talk about a
so
plot twist, right?
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
That's amazing.
developing my own sports thing as well. So.
Are you? Oh, I see. For yourself personally.
Yeah.
Which ones are your top three, let's say?
Oh,
Yeah.
I love volleyball.
Oh,
Volleyball's
oh my goodness. What kind of volleyball? Just general, ordinary volleyball?
Yeah,
'Cause-
there's like I go to the University of Calgary, so like we'll have like the leagues there.
Okay.
That's organized by the school.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll play there. And there's a gym called the Volley Dome. I don't know if
Okay.
you've heard of the Volley Dome. You can like book courts with friends, and
Okay.
yeah, it's pretty fun. Yeah,
Cool. So that's your top one.
that's my top one. I
Amazing.
I don't even know if I'm a second or third. That's
Okay.
my main sport.
That's
Yeah.
totally fair. I recently so I play on a volleyball team.
Oh yeah.
I do.
Awesome.
And it's like a rec league,
Yeah.
but it's beach volleyball.
Beach volleyball.
Isn't that amazing?
That is so.
I mean,
cool.
I love volleyball too. I have three that I enjoy. I enjoy soccer, basketball, and volleyball. Those are my top three. But volleyball on the court, there's consequences if you're going diving in that, isn't there?
I played it once. It was so tiring.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
such a different experience jumping in the sand.
Yeah.
It's so
Oh
fun.
man.
Yeah.
It's what I call consequence-free volleyball.
Yeah, you
can
fall,
do
it's
all-
okay.
Absolutely. And you have smaller teams, so you get a lot more on the
No
court.
touches, yeah.
So we played this at YYC or beach.
Beach YYC.
That's the one. Yeah, like a whole warehouse filled with sand.
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. So I get to do that quite a bit. Yeah.
So how long have you been doing this for?
25 years.
25 years.
Kidding, it's not even that old.
I was thinking, there's no phones like that. How do you-
I tease. I started about 5 years ago.
5 years.
Yeah, I started about
Cool.
5 years ago, and at the time I was teaching English, and I
Oh.
love teaching, man.
Nice. For how old?
Teens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, yeah, I was really good at that too. I'm good at teaching, yes. But when I started doing this, I started it part time, and I'm like, yeah, this could be a nice side gig.
Mhm.
And then the more that I did it, the more I'm like, oh crap, this is an amazing opportunity here. And like, I never would have thought I would have done this, but I was like, I'm seriously considering. So I put my teaching contract on hold, and then I started doing this full time.
Wow.
And that was then. Now then, in the midst of the pandemic, I took about 2-3 years off.
Yeah.
But I came back just recently, maybe a couple months ago, and this is an amazing setting. I am kind of enthusiastic about this job.
About
just,
Uber.
just about the opportunity, really. Like, I mean, it's a job for one, yes.
Yeah.
If you enjoy driving, if you enjoy people, it's a great combination. I've been a professional driver for many years. I've driven bus, I've driven trucks, like
Yeah.
the whole gamut. So, being on the road, I feel quite confident, as much as possible, of course. But this setting here, where I get to meet people, like as much as I enjoy teaching and developing the connections with my class that I had, and just making an impact, I saw that in this role here, I could expand not only just my students, but also like basically the world, which is amazing. Like I just need such a wide. I have no idea who's getting my vehicle. I saw your name. I'm like, this will be fun. I have no idea where this person's coming from. I don't know what kind of frame he is in the midst of his day. He's maybe having a hard day or an amazing day. I have no idea, But I just get the opportunity to connect, potentially. No, that's the other thing is sometimes people are just wanting a quiet ride. So it's important to have the social skills to be able to say, oh, this person wants this, so let's accommodate.
That is awesome.
I know. That's why I feel so blessed. I feel so yeah, I saw the opportunity. I said, I'm diving. I'm going deep on this one here. And then it's interesting. I'm telling you more than you asked, but then I don't know. I started seeing some consistent responses from my riders, Lawrence. The kind where they're like, now, there's the kind where you get acknowledged in your work and like, hey, you're really good at what you do. I'm like, great, thank you, It wasn't like that. It was more like, I didn't expect this. This totally changed my experience and this has been the best. Like, it's just very enthusiastic.
This has been the best Uber ride, honestly, I've ever had.
Thank you.
It's such a pleasant experience getting to know.
What makes it such an experience for you? I'd love to hear from your
Like
experience.
You're very genuine.
Oh, I
And
see.
You're like you said in your little bio that you're very good at just like talking and getting to know people, and I feel like it's very comfortable talking to you, even though we just met like 5 minutes ago. But it feels very comfortable.
Yeah.
To talk and.
Well, that means a lot to know that. Thank you. It means a lot to hear that.
You're amazing at it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So, as I was experiencing these wonderful things, I was thinking, it it occurs to me that if I'm enjoying too many good things in life and I'm not sharing it with others, I feel guilty.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's something wonderful in this setting here, and I would love for others to have access to it as well. I feel like I'm getting just a lion's share of this, and maybe if there's some insights, maybe there's some things that I'm doing along the way that might encourage or inspire other drivers potentially to enjoy the job and maybe pass on some wonderful, connections in the way that they connect with their riders, maybe. So I started creating some videos. I made sure there was consent in place, especially if I was including my rider as well. But I started sharing some of those videos with that aim of saying maybe I can encourage others. Well, it wasn't just for other drivers who were watching, but a lot of people around the world who were really, I think they're really enjoying the magic that happens, great conversations. And so it really started growing in an unexpected way, because I was thinking for sure this is going to maybe take maybe 10 years before I'm anywhere significant. But within months, when like all of a sudden like the numbers started just spiking, and I was like, wow, this is really unexpected to be certain. And then I'd hear from my followers things like, Biniam, like Uber's gonna reach out to you. And I said, no, guys, I do my homework on these kind of things. I've done diligent investigation on how this thing works, and I'm nowhere near being, seen by such a huge entity, because I'm not that big. I know I'm growing, but I'm not that significant yet. But at some point in time, like a couple of months later, when Uber did reach out and say, hey, we've been watching you, it's like, okay, proven wrong. I thought I knew my stuff, but I didn't. And that began, even further exposure and wonderful rapport and collaboration. It was really, really sweet and really neat.
Yeah. And I saw your rating too, it's 4.99.
It just came down.
Oh, 'cause I know how hard it is. Like once you've done like 10,000 rides,
Yeah.
the difference between 99, 98, 97, it becomes
Significant.
Yeah, it takes a while to get it up that 1 decimal. So.
Well, the funny thing is this: I celebrated when it came down.
Oh.
I celebrated because it was a 5.0 for a very long time. But I've learned something along my way here. And once upon a time, Lawrence, I was a significant people pleaser. And so that's probably where once upon a time I would have found my sense of self-worth. I'd be like, yes, I'm doing really good because people say I'm doing good. So that's where like the flow that happened. I found my sense of worth in others' assessment of me. If I got that 1-star rating, which I did get a 1-star rating, that would have decimated me. I'd be like, oh no, and I'd totally have like been broken because someone didn't think I was worthwhile. But the story that is far more compelling to me now personally is the kind where I say, I see the 5-star rating there. That's wonderful affirmation, but I'm never going to let people's kudos or affirmation or love ever come close to anywhere near this zone internally where I have safeguarded my worth, regardless of any accomplishments. So I grew up in a setting where I was praised if I did good, and I was admonished if I did bad, right? And I took that really personally, right? But that's such a fluctuating like pendulum, right? But if I were to do something different where I'm saying, for example, aside from anything I've accomplished or done, just because I'm a human being and I'm me, like there's no other Biniam like me, I'm gonna find my worth in that. I'm gonna like relish that I'm good without even having to wait for anyone to say you're worthwhile. I'm gonna tell that to myself first and foremost. So I mean, I enjoyed 5.0, but it didn't do much to me because I was already, I guess, content with my own sense of you're good, Biniam. That's just an affirmation, right? And how that protects me now is when people give me some genuine feedback that they're like, hey, you're really amazing and good at what you do. I'm able to like walk into that and say, I hear that, thank you, I appreciate that. And then I'm able to leave it there, saying, this is a good connection. When I got the 1-star rating, it reminded me, one, that I'm not gonna do a slam dunk on every ride. No matter how consistent I am, no matter how much I try to bring value, sometimes it's just not the right fit for someone. And I'm really grateful that there's a system that enables this someone to express, you're not my jam, because that's their honest truth. And it doesn't have anything to do with me as a person. My worthwhileness is still intact. You know what I'm saying? So that's really cool. And then it reminded me too that I wasn't made for perfection. I'm not made to like have a flawless, presence on the app. And so that's kind of part of the reason why I celebrated, saying, yeah, this is a good reminder. And it also reminds me that I can be okay with less than perfect. Once upon a time I'd be like, I should have, nailed that. But now I'm like, oh yeah, I miss the boat sometimes, and I'm happy to acknowledge that because that's my humanity. And so it's like my way of saying, here's how I maintain access to my humanity, especially by way of expectation. I'm not going to have expectations that are unreasonable of myself, and if I don't have it of myself, I won't have it of others around me either as well. You did do quite a deep dive on my profile. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I always look at the Uber driver that's picking me up.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Lawrence, what would you say has been the most impacting experience in your life that has paid dividends in who you are today? That's kind of a deeper question. So yeah, like what, as you look at the span of your life, what has been the thing that's happened that has really helped you say, okay, this is like my true north now. Having experienced this, I have this insight or this experience now that really helps me find why I take up space in this world.
That's a good question.
Thank you. You know what I like? I like that you're thinking about it carefully, and I also love your answer. It's not that you were like preparing for this question all along, right? But guess what now? You'll be thinking about this.
My passion has always been in law.
Tell me more.
I'm currently studying my undergrad in law and society.
Okay.
And I want to pursue that career further after my 4 years.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like what made me choose this or what made me passionate, I don't know. It's just
it's a curiosity.
Yeah.
And he wants to dig further into it. Now, do you have any, let me say it this way, do you have any fantasies in your mind that you play out of how you're going to like utilize this curiosity, what you want to accomplish, what you want to bring?
Go to the best law school, be a lawyer,
Yep.
Firm, of course, all the time. But it's hard.
But here's the thing, all that is just the preparation part, like going to the best law school, but after you've got all of that in your belt, like what is the accomplishment that really drives you where you're like, this is where I want to like invest this skill set now, practically.
And I can realize that because everybody is born to this world to do something. Everybody's good at something. But
Absolutely.
I can really understand and realize that this is something that I'm good at. And that I am better than my competitors in this field.
Yeah.
And that's when I can really be invested into something.
Yeah. So
So
you're aspiring to strive. Yeah. Like here's the thing, I'm doing the same thing too. In my niche, my realm, you might think it's Uber because I'm doing this full time, but actually this is just, pun intended here, my vehicle to get to my goals. So let me give you an example. It took me a very long time. So I'm in my mid 40s now. And being in my mid 40s, I mean, I've seen a lot of life. I've experienced a lot of things. And along the way, I'm not sure I've been striving for decades now to try and find out what am I here for? What am I trying to accomplish? It took me decades. That's why I'm not, that's why I'm saying, if you haven't figured that out yet, it totally tracks, because for some people, it takes time to get to that destination. But my honing in point now, where I'm like totally locked in, is I want to be an ambassador. That's a good way to say it. I want to be an ambassador to young men, presenting a characteristic that I find so important, and that's the theme of integrity. Integrity. So for the longest time as a young man, I didn't have integrity. I knew I didn't have it, but I wanted it, and I did not know how to go about experiencing it, learning it, practicing it. Like I just was in the dark, and as a result, I made so many like really awful mistakes in life. And yeah, so that's my story there. But now, having come through all those experiences, now I'm like, this is something that I see that it's non-negotiable for me. And I've seen how it's made my life so rich. It's in essence liberated me. It's emancipated me from that zone once upon a time where I lacked confidence, where I was kind of fumbling my way through and just kind of like, yeah. So anyway, all this to say, here I am back driving Uber. Before, like I was telling you, like I had a platform on TikTok, which boom, took off. It was great. But people were noticing and recognizing me, even here in the city. They'll be like, oh, you're the Uber guy, right? Or you're the bow tie guy, And so that's, if I were to kind of like passively walk into my story where others tell my story, that's what my identity would be. You're that guy and they associate this with this, right? Which is not a bad thing, because it's a beautiful thing that we're able to do. However, I wanted to say, if I could choose on purpose where I'm pointing people to by way of where I want their attention to go, where is it? And integrity is this thing that I just came up with. I'm like, this is so important. I'm really passionate about this. And so now I'm coming back to do Uber, but presenting this conversation around integrity, which is so critical, and that I want to be an ambassador, especially for young men too. And I've got some grand ambitions, One of my goals as I drive Uber, do you know what I'm going to do? At some point, I'm going to get my dream vehicle.
What's your dream vehicle?
The Phantom.
Phantom? Like a Rolls Royce?
Yeah, just a modest Phantom,
Just a modest
But here's the thing. As I aim to get that, I don't have any hesitation in saying, I love that car. I would love to, own that car. But there's a reason behind it. One, of course I enjoy driving. But two, I'm going to make that car available on the Uber platform on only the base level. Not any Premier or anything like that. This is just going to be very specific. That this car is only going to be on the Uber X platform, the very baseline. Why? Because I grew up in a setting where once upon a time, I wanted to have connection socially, and I didn't. Now I've mastered how to connect socially, and I have a heart to bring people in. So imagine an Uber Rolls Royce pulling up on the very, you're just paying 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever price, but people are like, I never have access to this. So they're getting in and they're just blown away by I get to sit in this thing. But the real question with me and my followers that I want them to be wrestling with is there a way that this kind of connection, human to human, can eclipse even that awe of holy crap, look at this thing. Well, this thing is wonderful and fun and luxurious, yes, but it doesn't touch you the way a fellow human being could, because they see you, they acknowledge you, they connect with you. That's going to be the challenge there that I want to embark on in this social experiment. Again, driving that narrative of, if we were to think of integrity, how can we line up the way we... It's something that's so, I'm so looking forward to this forecast, So all that to say, it's taken me a while to get to this place and to think of these ideas and to expand and walk into where I want to be. And there's intentionality behind it, right? Yeah. That's what I think of when I think of just check out this license plate. Do you see it?
Ford Chico.
Ford Chico.
Who's Chico?
I'm guessing that she is... the guy got the vehicle for his Chico, his girl.
Oh, Chico.
Oh,
I see.
I'm just surmising. I don't know. It's I like looking at license plates, which is an interesting pastime, and just noting the vanity ones. But no, it's that kind of thing that motivates me, and I like asking the story of why this, why are you into this, and what drives that motivation, and what do you hope to accomplish in the midst of it? Because that's when you get into the juicy. Yeah.
Super interesting.
Indeed. Of course you guessed all this before you even got in my vehicle, right? It's just, who doesn't think of these kind of things, right?
I did not expect that this would be how my evening ends, I guess.
I love it.
It's funny because we're going to Subaru right now.
Yes.
My car was there this morning and I left it there for a while. We're having battery issues all week, so the car's been on and off. It's whatever. So I'm taking it in now.
Yeah.
And it's just been an annoying week. So it's just interesting that this is the way that it leads to now my car has a new battery and we're good to go.
My previous car was a Subaru.
Oh yeah.
A WRX. Serious.
I was with WRX.
Nice.
Yeah.
What color is yours?
It's a magnetite gray.
Oh, okay. Mine was blue.
I wanted that one.
Oh,
I didn't have it back then.
It was a standard.
Mine's automatic.
Oh, I love standard. I miss standard already. No,
Me too. I want to get one.
those are beautiful cars. And man, like even there's all-wheel drive as well too, which
Yeah.
is brilliant. Oh my goodness, I had so much fun with it. So much fun. Yeah, but I gave it up because I wanted more space to carry people.
And then was it this one that you?
Yeah, I transitioned to this one here, and this is a very common car, right? It's
pretty.
dependable, and I'm grateful. I'm so grateful for it. Like, I haven't had any trouble in the snow, and yeah, people get in and they're like, oh, "This is an amazing vehicle." I'm like, "Oh, I'm glad you like it." It just, yeah.
And you made it very nice. There's chargers and.
Yeah, I try to attend to some things to make it a little bit more this is my way of showing hospitality.
Yeah.
Saying, welcome to my space. I'm glad you're here, and I'd like to make your stay memorable for the right reasons. No, it's really cool when you can experience the unexpected in life, right? And when people interact with me, oftentimes Lawrence won't see the goofy side of me quite yet. But there's a real strong streak of silly. I mean, here I am showing up with a bow tie and look all,
Yeah, I noticed.
presentable and stuff, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, here's who he is." And then when I pull off my shenanigans, it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
I'm for sure gonna check you out after this.
Thank you, brother.
And stuff.
I appreciate it. I would love to hear from you as well.
Yeah,
You're.
you'll probably see me in one of your.
I like that we're in the same city too.
Yeah. Have you been here for a long time?
5 years this time around.
Oh, okay.
So I came here 15 years ago to finish my grad studies, and then I went out to Saskatchewan for a few years
Cool.
before moving back here again and saying I miss Calgary, especially the mountains, and so yeah, I'm thrilled to be back. Have you been here?
Russia, but then I actually grew up in China for 5 years,
Wow.
and then I came here when I was 6.
Okay.
And I'm 19 now, so I've
Yeah.
been here for 13 years.
Amazing. When I moved to Canada, I was 8. It's almost a similar season as you, right? Yeah. Do you feel like you grew up in 2 different cultures?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel that too, eh?
Yeah, like I'm for sure more immersed in my Chinese culture than a lot of my even Chinese friends. I feel like growing up there for sure
Yeah.
Gives you a different perspective.
Totally. Huh. So you feel more Chinese even today than
For sure.
amazing,
Yeah,
amazing.
it's not a doubt in my heart that
Yeah,
I'm Chinese, not
that's amazing.
Canadian. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to say I'm not Canadian.
No, but there's influence, but it's not as equal in its influence.
it's what's in my blood.
Yeah, for sure. I would say in my experience, I mean, I was young when I moved here. I grew up in Kenya, although I was born in Ethiopia. But growing up here, I feel like I'm familiar with 2 different cultures, and one of the things I love doing is I like contrasting them, saying, "Ooh, here's how this culture thinks about this topic here, and this one." So I get to pick and choose the ones that I find compelling. So I think those of us who have either travel in our background or a different culture that we grew up in, I think we have better access to being intentional about the way we engage culturally, right? We can ask questions that may not be as evident to others on the surface, right? Which is kind of cool. Are you an only child?
I have a brother.
Younger?
Younger brother.
Okay. So you're the eldest.
I am.
As am I.
How many siblings do you have?
I'm the eldest of 6.
6.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
What's the biggest age gap?
Take a guess.
6 kids. I'm saying
Yeah.
14.
14 years? Not many, eh? Okay. I like to do this because it's fun, but are you counting for the possibility that there may be twins or maybe
Oh, I
even
see.
triplets even?
Okay, 6 kids. 3 years difference.
3 years difference. That's hilarious.
8 years.
8, okay. Final answer?
9 years.
22.
22 years.
Isn't that
So
amazing?
your youngest sibling is
Yeah.
like 20 years.
She's 22.
Wow.
I
Barely older
know.
than me.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, so it was me and my 2 brothers when we moved to Canada. Then in my teens, my parents had the second set, and my youngest was born when I was 22 years old. Which here's the amazing thing. I've in essence gotten to watch all 3 of them grow up, which has been so cool. Like now they're like adults, and like I'm just blown away. Like just seeing that whole progression. My baby sister is now my roomie, And very amazing movies. Yeah, it's just,
And you said there's twins?
there were no twins.
Oh, okay.
I was just trying to throw you off. I'm like, maybe there's this or this, right? But no, it's been really sweet watching them grow up. Yeah.
Family's everything.
How much difference between you and your brother?
7 years.
7 years. Okay. That's still significant, isn't it? Yeah. So he's quite young. Yeah.
12.
Okay. Huh. He probably looks up to his big brother who has a car and independence and responsibilities.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know.
If you could choose, which law school would you love to go to?
Realistically?
Mm-hmm.
Realistically?
Let's do the realistic and the fantasy.
Okay. Realistically, I'll say University of Calgary.
Yep.
I like it here. I grew
Cool.
up here, and
Yeah.
I want to stay here. Realistically.
Cool. Okay.
But
Interesting.
fantasy.
Yeah.
Maybe Toronto.
Okay.
Of course, a top school, as top as you can get in Canada, right?
Oh, I see. Okay.
That's for sure the fantasy. But
Okay.
realistically, I think I would like to stay in Calgary.
Yeah.
I would for sure like rather stay in Calgary than maybe move a couple spots up. Let's say go to McMaster or something if there
Ooh.
was one. Like it's like not the
Yeah.
top school, but it's like a little bit up. I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah.
Unless it's like the top of the top, I don't think it's worth leaving Calgary for.
Gotcha.
It's not as
But Calgary's pretty decent though too.
good. It is. I think we're top 10 in Canada for sure.
And you have a desire to stay in Calgary, which is I note interesting because when I was young, a lot of young people are like, I'm out of here. I want to go and explore the world.
A
But
lot
you're
of
like,
my high school people were like that.
they're the same way. But do you feel like, yeah, you're,
I feel the polar opposite. I think,
Gotcha.
I grew up here. I
Yeah.
know everything here.
Yeah.
It's familiar. Everything's
Yeah.
so set up for me. My family's here. We have
Yeah.
a home here, a car, everything. It's so set up for me. Why do I want to ruin it? And I have
It's
a lot
ideal.
of friends who are like, oh, I hate this place. Calgary's so boring.
yeah, yeah.
And then they.
You know what I found is they usually come back with that renewed sense of appreciation after that. So like, okay, it was pretty, or
That's okay.
here's fine.
Yeah, wherever is easier for you to get out.
Oh, I'm on your schedule, brother. Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much.
I enjoyed your company.
I
man.
hope to get you again in the future.
That would be
Yeah.
amazing.
All
I
right,
like
take
that.
care.
See you,
I'm gonna
Lawrence.
go get my car now.
Okay.
See ya.
Bye.
Thank you.
Whew, wasn't that lovely? Oh, that was amazing. Hey, how are you? I see you, Dharm. Okay, we have another ride already queued up here. So we're on our way to go do that. Let me start a new live stream because this one's going to be another long one. So I'll be back in 4 minutes. All right, guys? Talk